I was telling Fredy before everybody came in that as soon as we started doing these salons last spring, I knew that at some point, you know, we were going to have Fredy as a guest. And so I'm really glad that we finally have him to come and talk to us. And he was saying that, you know, it's not that often as an artist or even as a person just living in Chestertown that anybody has a chance to kind of talk about their experience here. And so I'm really happy that RiverArts can give that opportunity to Fredy to talk about what it's like to look for a creative home here in Chestertown. And I'm really glad that we get the chance to talk with him and with each other. And I did look up a poem that I would like to share. It's very brief. And I love that idea of finding a creative home and everything that sort of has wrapped up in it about creativity and home and being at home in your own artistic process and impulse. And then the poem that I have here is about home and sort of finding your home. It's called Journey Home, and it is by Rabindranath Tagore. The time that my journey takes is long, and the way of it is long. I came out on the chariot of the first gleam of light and pursued my voyage through the wilderness of worlds, leaving my track on many a star and planet. It is the most distant course that comes nearest to thyself, and that training is the most intricate, which leads to the utter simplicity of a tune. The traveler has to knock at every alien door to come to his own, and one has to wander through all the outer worlds to reach the innermost shrine at the end. My eyes strayed far and wide before I shut them and said, "Here art thou." The question and the cry, "Oh, where?" melt into tears of 1,000 streams and deluge the world with the flood of the assurance, I am. So I don't know exactly how that is going to relate to what we're going to talk about today, but I feel like at least for me, it will. So with that, I think, Fredy, I would love to turn it over to you. And I can't wait to hear what this conversation is going to take.
Okay. First, I want to say thank you to everybody. Thanks, RiverArts. Thanks, every person who was involved on this, and let me talk about how I find my creativity, how I am creating the little home for my creativity. So thank you for that, and thanks everybody to be here again. Today I was the last week I was thinking about how to start to talk about this, and I was trying to find the order to explain the best way. So I was thinking, for me, it's really important to explain first. Creativity for me is not like magic coming into your head and next day you decide to do a painting or a song or something. I think creativity for me is a constant work, and in whatever you like to do, you need to work every day on that. You need to read, you need to ask, you need to see other people doing the same you want to do. So it's just looking about that all the time and learning, and then with all that information, your brain just start to send out these ideas. And that's the way I think, for me, creativity works. It's not just going to the museum and get all this energy, and just because I was watching Picasso, next day I want to paint something. That works. For some people, it's like that. I'm just saying, for me, is a long process. So after that, I was thinking, so I need to think about my past, and I need to explain how my migration is, for me, a big step, because it's the before and after. I am from El Salvador. a little tiny country. And I have like 5 years living in Chestertown, almost 6. And, you know, when I came here, I was like I was always said, I am like a baby because I need to learn to speak, to read, to talk, everything. And then I need to find education again. And then I need to find a job. So that process, it was really hard for me. And basically that process about coming to this country cut all my energy to keep finding creativity. And I have the very 2 or 3 years living in Crompton. It was really hard for me to find inspiration or to decide to what to do with my talent. And I wasn't sure if I was a musician or I was a painter or a potter. I was so confused. And because I was involved on all these other issues about language and culture, identity, and having my family too and working. So my creativity, I think, had all these backgrounds, not just migration, also my education in El Salvador. And my family is a big thing in my process too, because they were always kind of like, they never say, I don't want you to be an artist, but they never support anything at the same time. So it's like, it was hard, but they never stopped me, but it was hard because usually you need somebody to tell you when you are starting something, you need somebody to tell you, you are good at this, go on, keep going. But I didn't have that when I was in my 15s, but I had, you know, I keep looking and looking and looking. So right now I can say I have all the people who helped me to be an artist in those years when I was in my country. Is people from out, is anybody from my family, just friends that I was looking for these people and they just show up. And musician, and the church is it was a big support for me. And then I was just learning from my grandfather was a big influence for me. He's basically like my father, my grandfather, and he was a musician. So that's more or less all the background after saying my creativity, what I think is creativity. All these elements were creating my way to now say, okay, I want to paint this, and I feel better now. I have a home now, and I live in Chestertown now. I feel like I am from Chestertown now. So that helped me to create, you know, my this is my basement actually when I am right now, and it's like my studio. You can see some of the paintings in the background there. And I just created this space like a year ago, because I felt like I was ready to, my brain was ready and was kind of like a free, and my English was better. So I was not too worried about that. And I guess my brain started to make some space again for my creativity. And I started to go outside and see other artists and shows and start to create again. So that's basically the, you know, the big, all the big concept I can see in my process of creativity and finding home for my creativity. If somebody has a question, please ask me, because sometimes I'm not too clear with my ideas. So please feel free to just ask me a question.
I had a question, Fredy.
Okay.
So you have found a home here. Did you feel you had a home in El Salvador? Artistic home in El Salvador?
I mean, no, it's different.
Different?
It's different because in El Salvador, when you are, you know, in El Salvador, if you are an artist, always art is connected with politics and social issues. If you are painting, if you are doing music, always is connected with a massive group of people.
Okay.
You know, and nobody has a studio, for example. Everybody's just on having meeting with other people, trying to do another revolution, or trying to. It's absolutely different. You feel more active, like in terms of politics, because you need to talk about politics all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And here, for me, I had the opportunity to stop that. Not saying I don't want to do that anymore, but having a break, because I don't have to do like my art doesn't have to be so clear about politics. And I think I am a really political person, and I always, I think I have an opinion about something. But here I feel the artists are more the ones I know, they are more, I'm trying to find the word, they want to help you more a little bit. They want to help you to they offer me help for whatever I need. And in El Salvador, it's really, everybody wants to be the best. So everybody's pushing the other one. I'm not going to say everybody, but you know, there's a fight because the country is really small. There's no space for all the artists. And here I feel the artists I know, they always are allowed, or they want to explain something if you don't know it. So it's pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in a way, you have a chance to find your voice without the overlay of politics here.
Exactly. I feel more comfortable showing just my identity, like a Latino. I don't have to be part of the revolutionary group of people or the other side. Or I can go and say I'm Fredy and I do this, and I am from El Salvador, and I'm doing this because this is my identity, this is my culture, this is my voice, so I like that part. I like that part that is showing me, you know, exposing me just like a Latino, and not because I am a member of a political party.
Okay.
That I think is what I'm trying to say. And yeah, when I was a student in El Salvador, I was part of, you know, I was organizing students, and you need to be part of this group if you want to be somebody in the artist community. Because if you're not, they are going to say you are, you know, it's really hard. It's really hard to explain also.
Yeah. So do you feel like the art that you are creating, or that you are sort of have the urge, or the direction that your art goes, is do you feel like it's coming from a different place because you're not as sort of forced to make it political, or surrounded so much by the political side of making art? Or is it, are you making the same kind of art, but it just doesn't have that around it? Or is it also not in it?
I think it's pretty different. I mean? Yeah, I think the art I'm doing right now is I feel it's really personal, you know, but I don't know if you check my website, and everybody can check my website. And the last show I did like 2 months ago, I always said it's personal because I was not trying to talk about the sad part of my country. I was trying to put these houses in another level and say, you know, happy people lives there. I was living in a community like that. And that argument is different. You know, if I show these paintings in my country, I'm going to talk about the bad government we have, and they are living like that because the government is not helping. So it's going to be a political argument. And here I'm talking more about people living in these places. They are not violent. They are not gangs members. There's families happy and kids running and playing outside, and they just live like that because they don't have access to all these, you know, supporting. Nobody's supporting there. So that's the difference. I'm not talking about you can see that in my paintings, but right now I'm trying to explain the humanity and that side of these communities, and the colors that I use too is showing, like, you know, there's happy places there.
I think that I do. I mean, I have looked at that show, and I do think that those paintings are happy. They have they have a feeling of life and sort of energy and happiness in them, I think.
Something I want to mention too is when I was thinking about today, I was thinking too, you know, that every artist comes from different families, different places, not just in my country, around the world, right? So for me, my family was kind of like I said before, they never support me pretty well. But you know, somebody always in your family jumps and kick you and say, hey, come on, you have to do something. And my mom was kind of like that. My mom, I was trying to be a professional soccer player when I was 14, because all my brother and all my cousins, they were trying to be a professional soccer players. So I was trying to do the same. And my mom sent me to this place to learn to paint ceramic. And this place was next to my aunt. And I just started to paint, and I never imagined I'm going to stay there for many years. But I stayed there. I went there when I was 11. And I stayed until I was 23, painting every day after school. And believe me or not, I became one of the best painters in the shop. And the guy who teach me, he was kind of impressed, because when I went in, I was with, you know, the classic bad attitude. I don't want to be it is. But you know, I guess it was in my hands and my blood, and I just did it. And I stayed there for many years painting Talavera. So Talavera is my first, you know, door or window to see, okay, I can do this kind of thing. And then I started with the music, and my grandfather was a musician, but he never teach me. And my uncles, all of them are musicians, but nobody teach me anything. So when I was 14, I went to the church and I talked with the priest, and I said to him, he didn't know me at that point. I just went into his office because somebody told me he was like a nice guy, and it was the Catholic church. And I, you know, I knocked his office, and somebody came out, and I asked for the priest, and he was from England, and he was living in this community in El Salvador. And I just asked him, look, I want to make a music band, and I have other 3 friends ready to play the bass, the guitar, and the drums, and I'm going to sing. And he said, oh, but are you, you know, he was asking me many questions that I don't remember right now. But at the end, he said, no, you know, this is too expensive. We don't have that money to support this kind of project, so I'm sorry. And I just keep waiting and keep waiting. And somebody called me like 2 weeks later, and to tell me the priest approved the money to buy instrument for us. And the deal was we have to play music at the church once a month, and then we can practice in the community center. So we did that for when I was 14, is when I started with the music, and this priest in the community buy all the instruments. And the first song I learned, believe me or not, the English was 0 at that point, but the first song I played was Let It Be by the Beatles. And the priest was so happy because, you know, the song is kind of like a popular song, and he was from England. So that was the way, after the pottery, that was the way I came into the music. And then I keep playing at the church for like, until I went to the university. And the university is when I take the curb and I stop to go to the church, and I start to play revolutionary music and more like a trova music or folk music. And at that point is when I start to write my own music too. So that's the way I came into the music. And when I went to the university, I have a bachelor degree on pottery. And my teacher was from Japan. So I stayed in the university for 10 years. So it's kind of like a master degree, but so that's my first contact with pottery. I went into the university trying to be a graphic designer, but I'm really bad with computers. So, and in El Salvador, it was really expensive too, to have access to, you know, the right technology and the right computer to do a really good graphic design. And I don't have the talent for that, for the computers. And so, yeah, that's basically the three ways that I, you know, the music, the pottery, the music, and pottery. And then I think some of people here knows my wife, Rosemary Ramsey. She's from Chestertown, but she was living in El Salvador for 10 years. And she was the one to invite me to paint murals in different communities when she was working. So I have like 8 or 10 murals in El Salvador that I did with different nonprofit organizations. And also I have to say, because my wife helped me, I could finish my education too, because at that point I was like, okay, this is impossible. I don't have the money. And she support that. And so I think I need to mention her because she's a big support in my life, not just in art, in many ways. And she helped me to be better here in Chestertown. You know, she knows. And when I finish something, I ask her first.
She's pretty great. So Fredy, were you with the music? Did you just teach yourself? Did you have a teacher?
No, I never went to the music school. I just used my ears and play the guitar. And you know, when I start to play is when all the technology explode. So you have access to learn guitar in YouTube and so that's the way I learn music. And like I said before, my grandfather was a famous guitar player, and my uncles are musicians. They never teach me, but I guess I was listening unconscious. And it's easy for me just to listen a song and you know, play the chorus or stuff like that. So no, I cannot read music. If you give me, you know, all these symbols, I'm going to cry. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really interested in whether you feel like that changes how you make music or how you think about music compared to painting or pottery or, you know, something that you've had, or like where the creative connection is different for you, maybe
with music, you mean?
Yeah, between something that you taught to yourself and have, you know, kind of the experience of it versus something that you had more, you know, training and sort of guidance or education.
Well, with music, I have my big influences in music, and believe me or not, the big ones are in English, because all the public radios when I was a kid, they were playing music from MTV. So basically, you know, all the classic 90s rock and roll like Nirvana and the classic rock and roll from the 70s and 60s. So that's basically, when I started to play, that was my inspiration. I was playing music by the Beatles, Let It Be, Twist and Shout, and all that music. And then I was playing music from South America. And I have a really good friend who was a really good musician. He never teach me to read, but he's the one, I think, pushed me to do it just with my ears and do it like improvising and that kind of stuff. And when I came here, I started to listen other kind of, and I have other friends here, like they show me other music that I never heard before, you know, like country music or bluegrass, or and that's a big influence for me. It's really hard for me now to, when I'm writing a new song, it's hard for me to don't think about the music I'm hearing here in English. And also, like a month ago, I decided to get a guitar with steel strings, because I never played that one. I just played the nylon strings. So that gave me another sound that can give you an idea how the influence is coming in me, because I want to experimenting with guitars that people is playing in music from here. So it's changing, you know. It's and I like it. I'm really open person, and when I am with other Latinos, for example, it's really hard for me to fit in the group, because I'm changing fast, because I'm living in Chestertown, and the Latinos I know, they live together in other communities, so they don't speak English. You know, they don't have access to all these artists in Chestertown. They don't have access to different music. They basically are living the same life they had in their countries. And for me, it's different. I'm having, my wife is white, and so I have access to all, and I have African American friends that show me other perspective of the life, and I'm really open for that. I'm really open, not just for art. I'm really open for food, for everything. So, and I think that's part of that's the way to how you build creativity. You have to be really open to and learn about everything, and after that you said, okay, I don't like this, I'm going to put it here for now, and maybe later I'm going to use it. And I think that something is make me changing really fast, but also help me to be more active, creating stuff in my house. I'm painting a lot right now. I'm doing a lot of pottery right now, because I want to have some pieces for the spring, and so I'm in a good moment, I think. If I see my picture like 3 years ago, it was really bad. But right now, and because I decide to, and coronavirus, not just for me, for everybody, it was so bad, and it stopped everything. And the anxiety, the levels of anxiety, the levels of stress that can create inside is really hard. Yeah. No, somebody has a question?
I mean, I can keep asking questions. I don't.
Can I ask something? Maria, is it okay? Fredy, I've known you a while, but I just want to know what, this is Carol, whether or not your art influences your music or your music influences your art. I mean, I've heard you play, numerous times, and you're so immersed in the sound and, animated. But then, I look at your art and it's just as beautiful. So which came first, or is it kind of a toss-up at this point?
Yeah, basically, when I'm working on a sketch or a painting, my break is play the guitar. So I'm going to say the paint comes first, and the guitar is my break. But I say I'm going to take a break, and I play the guitar for 10 minutes. But then I have a good phrase, a good chord, and I keep playing the guitar for 3 hours. So it's not a break, it's I'm working in a new song. So I guess for now, the paint comes first because I'm focused on that, trying to find a better style and drive, you know, discovering something, and music comes first. The thing with music is, you know, I'm doing music in Spanish, and the music I'm doing uh, uh, is not music any Latino is going to enjoy. So is I don't like to spend, you know, like 3 months trying to find 5 or 10 songs because I'm just going to keep them in the computer for now. So I'm working with a friend who is a musician in Boston, and we're working together and trying to record something so we can put it online. So friends in my country, they can listen to music, and my friend he plays the sax. He plays with me one time in Rock Hall, and he's helping me to create this new song. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I paint first for now, and music is my break.
Yeah, I was at that concert in Rock Hall, and that was magical when he played with you at the mainstay, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was fabulous. Yeah.
So yeah, we're working on that. I'm working on that. I'm working on some pottery, and I'm working on some paintings and ideas, not painting, just some sketches. So yeah, for now, like I said, I'm working really hard with paintings right now, and and pottery, and I'm creating songs. You know, in the last month, I just finished like 3 new songs. So I try to keep the 3 things together, but it's really hard. I have to play with my son like 3 hours a day. So.
That's the perfect segue. I was actually going to ask about your son and what you do, how you talk with him about creativity and art. You know, do you see this natural spark in him from just him watching what you and your wife do? Do you have certain things that you two like to do together that, you know, because we're always learning and looking for, you know, new ways to share art in the community. And I'm just curious about maybe some of your favorite things that you do together.
Yeah. Because my experience in El Salvador, like I said before, my family never should teach me something. I try to involve him in all my projects, but he likes more play with the clay and because that's fun, and you know, and he likes to get my guitars and play. So my way to teach him right now is just telling him you are allowed to touch all my stuff and play with that, and it doesn't matter if you destroy that piece. It doesn't matter if it's, you know, I'm trying to make sure he has access to all the stuff I like to do, and he's not really interested, like, you know, spending like 20 minutes doing something. He's 7 now. He's getting better, but you know, they want to change activities every 15 minutes or something like that. So he finished all my sketchbooks, and yeah, I have to buy, you know, 2 sketchbooks every time because he wants one, and so it's kind of like he is, you know, he's living in an art world because my mother-in-law is an artist, and my father-in-law has this shop doing custom chandeliers, and my house is basically 3 different shops in my basement: clay, music, and painting. And outside I have my garage full of carpentry tools. So he's watching me, he's playing with all that. And I don't want to, you know, I don't want to dream about he's going to be an artist or not, but if he decides that, that's going to be awesome. Yeah. It's going to be nice to see him. He has many talent, I guess. Yeah.
Just what you said about providing access to so many wonderful things to experience and try. It'll be just fun to see what he enjoys doing and where it goes.
Yeah, you know, I didn't have access to musical instruments because the economical situation in my family. My father was a military guy, and he was always out. He never was in my house. And my mother was outside too working, so I was just by myself in my house. So I never have like somebody asking me, "Hey, you want to play a guitar?" Or everybody was outside. So I was in my house. And you know, if you have the creativity in your mind, I guess, because I was outside jumping on the trees, creating or doing something. I was always doing something. I remember one of my first experience selling something that I create. I was doing kites. I don't know if that's the way to say, you know, flying kites.
Oh, kites.
Kites. So I was selling those. I was doing like 5 a day, and I was selling these kites to other kids. And that was kind of like my way to find something to do when I was by myself. And so for me, living here is really awesome to support my son with whatever he wants to do, you know, guitars or paper or paint or or going to the library. Nobody took me to the library when I was a kid. So for me, that is just, you know, it's so amazing to walk to the library in 10 minutes. We can be there and have access, not just for him, you know, for me too. It's pretty amazing. And that's amazing in Chestertown. Everything is closed. And I have everything I need now, you know. I think that's why I call it's my home now. And that's, I think it's because I have my creativity working well. And that gives you an idea about other Latinos too. You know, maybe there's another painter in Galena, the Latino painter in Galena, but maybe he doesn't have access to these opportunities that I have, having access to artists and organization or galleries or people who is. So I think one of the challenge could be trying to find these Latinos for me and talk about the opportunities in Chestertown. And you know, all the people working with art, I think one of the challenge could be to find other Latinos doing awesome stuff, music. Or I know another guy from Guatemala who is a really good musician, but they are shy to come to Chestertown. I have to say that. And sometimes, you know, when I feel like Chestertown is not 100% created for Latinos, so I think that makes it hard to having more diversity and see that. So, any question?
I have a question that's on a different topic, if that's okay. I'm really interested in hearing your experiences with the Washington College students.
Mm-hmm.
How you guys determined what you were going to paint in that mural, and whether or not you had the opportunity to share some of your background with the students that were working. Was just really fascinated about that whole project, and would love to hear what it was like for you.
Yeah. Well, when I did that mural, we never did something like this, like talking about me and people asking me questions. They introduced me to the student, you know, this is Fredy, he's an artist, he lives in Chester. They say all they want, the basic you need to know. But there was not an opportunity to talk for like 2 hours with the students. So I don't have I don't know many students in Washington College. And that was one of the reasons I decided to call that mural the garden, because I was trying to show the diversity in different flowers. And all the flowers are from the Eastern Shore. and not all the flowers, almost all the flowers. So I was trying to show the diversity because I don't see that too much at Washington College. But I have a really good relationship with some professors. And I can mention Pat Nguyen from the Star Center. He is one of my best person in Chestertown. Yeah, he's awesome.
He's great.
So, yeah, so that's my experience with professor. My experience always has been really good. But I don't have. I know one student who is from Guatemala, but you know we say hi one time and that's it. So yeah, I don't have that connection, just with professors. I don't know if that was all the question.
Did you get a chance to work with any of the students? Did they have any input into what was painted on that mural, or was that all your design?
We created design together with other people in other professors. I showed the sketch like 5 times, and we were building it together. But any student was involved because I did it with the new students. You know, the how do you call the not report? I don't remember the name, but you know, the students that come for the first time to the campus. So yeah, and to be honest, they some of them were really cool, like, but it was hard because the attitude, you know, they were a little bit like still like high school kids. So you don't know if they are happy or they are mad. But in general, it was an awesome experience. We went to Philly to see all the murals, and we talked with another friend that I have from another friend who is living in Philly, and he's painting murals. So the whole experience was really good. But you know, we did it really fast. We painted that mural in 3 days.
Wow.
So we didn't have time to really create this opportunity. But yeah. it was fast. Yeah. Great. But it was awesome. It was really awesome. I'm really happy about that project.
Good. Yeah.
And there's I know we're almost out of time, but I know that you are planning another mural project with Vanna and Bob. Do you want to talk a little bit about that before we have to finish up?
Yeah. So Bob Ortiz, I think everybody knows Bob Ortiz. He's my friend, and he's teaching me a lot of stuff about woodworking too. He's awesome. And so one time we were talking about murals, and he said, Fredy, I think we can paint a mural here outside of my shop, and we can create something about Latino identity. And so we started to talk, and we invite Vanna Ramirez, and which her father is from El Salvador, and I think her mother is from Korea. I'm not sure about that. So we find the connection about, you know, Bob is Latino, I'm Latino, Vanna was Latina, so let's do it together. And I'm still working on the sketch about this, but Bob Ortiz is really happy about this, and we're planning to have everything, you know, the sketch and everything to show to people at the end of March. And so yeah, the mural is going to be outside of Bob Ortiz's shop, and we are going to paint it with Vanna and me. So that's my next big project.
I'm really excited about that project.
Yeah,
actually.
me too.
That sounds really cool. We've enjoyed working with Vanna. She's a lot of fun and so talented, just like you are. And I think it's really great how that's coming together. And I love public art, something that somebody can walk by without going into a gallery, and they can see it no matter what time of day or whatever else. So that's going to be really a neat addition to town.
Yeah, it's going to be nice.
And Vanna's teaching a class tomorrow, right?
what is today? Tuesday? Thursday. Yeah, she's actually going to do like a 1 hour kind of, so you want to learn how to draw. She's done some classes for us in the past that are more detailed, that people have signed up and bought special supplies and done week after week. But we just offered this like one time, 1 hour Zoom, and she's like, I'll try it. And we have 4 people signed up just to literally come for an hour and get some real kind of like quick basics on how to draw. So one of the benefits of working here is I get to try it too. So maybe I'll try to figure out how to draw something on Thursday.
Not too late to sign up.
Absolutely. Fredy, thank you.
Didn't mean to interrupt with a promo, but.
Yeah, thank you for being here and for sharing your journey with us. Because, you know, I think I first met your wife when I moved to Chestertown, and then I knew about your Talavera art. And the next thing I know, I'm hearing about Paella downtown and you're playing music. And so it just seemed like I kept running into something new that you knew how to do every time I turned around. So that was going to be my question at the beginning, was about all the different things you did. And then you covered that for us, you know, wonderfully. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everybody. And please, if somebody has another question and I couldn't explain something because I'm still learning English, feel free to send me an email and we can talk again. And yeah, I'm just finishing my 2nd class of English at Chesapeake College.
Oh, wow.
So I invite all my friends, but they didn't come.
Well, you can you can come back and do this again, and maybe your friends will come that time.
Yeah, but I'm really happy. Thanks, Mariah. Thanks, RiverArts. Thanks, and everybody. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you for coming. We always sort of end with a toast, and so I think tonight I will just toast to you, Fredy, and your family, and to finding a home for creativity. And it's lovely that Chestertown has provided that opportunity for you, and I think for many artists. So cheers, and thank you for being here.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you, Fredy.
Cheers, Fredy.
Thanks, Fredy. It was really great.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you,
Fredy.
And your English is really, you're doing great.
Yeah.
Thank you. You know, when I came to this country, I was shy to say my name is or hi.
Yeah.
Now
I mean, I even remember when I met you maybe a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, your English was perfectly fine, but you certainly sound more comfortable now.
Yeah, I think that one of my friends told me one time, you know, just go out and do the mistakes and then fix it. But if you just wait until your English is going to be perfect, you're going to be in your basement for the next 5 years or 6 years. So just go out and try, and people are going to help you. So I'm trying to have this good attitude, and Camilo is my dictionary. My son is my dictionary now.
That sounds like good rules for artists too. You know, just keep trying, keep make mistakes, and you know, something good comes out of it in the end. So thank you for the great example and for sharing your story with us.
All right.
Thank you.
No problem. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys.
Good night.
Thanks for coming, everybody.